All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the New York Giants in today's video. Last night, the Giants signed Jameis Winston to be, in my opinion, their backup quarterback. The Giants 100,000% will be drafting a rookie QB. In my opinion, it's coming down to pick number 3. Whichever QB is available at that number, they're going to be taking them. I also wouldn't count out a trade to number 1, which we'll talk about towards the end of the video. But the Giants thus far, man, I actually really do like their free agency period thus far. We talked about it last week, but one of my favorite, if he can stay healthy, Paulson Adebo. Ooh, yeah. Chauncey Golston, Javon Holland, swing tackle and James Hudson, defensive line depth and Roy Robertson Harris, Darius Slayton got re-signed, Aaron Stinney's coming back, Greg Van Roten's coming back, and yeah, now it just needs one more quarterback, a rookie QB, and we'll know who that is going to be in about a month. But let's start it off with the move yesterday in Jameis Winston, top pick in the 2015 NFL draft. 1-year stint in Cleveland turned that into a 2-year, $8 million contract with the Giants that could reach $16 million with incentives. And I came to this realization because Jameis Winston is known for just being goofy. He's known for being funny. He's always mic'd up. You always see him, like, regardless if he's starting a football game or not playing and he's just a backup, there's a clip on Monday of him mic'd up from the Browns game. Or there's a clip mic'd up of Jameis Winston being Jameis Winston. And he just is a really cool person. He's a really cool personality. And it made me realize I haven't been excited about a Giants QB since probably Eli Manning. Like, Danny Dimes was never really fun. I never really got like a fun. He's more like, calculated, right? So Jameis Winston, locker room wise, is going to be an absolute vibe. But he served mainly as a backup, right? He stepped into a starting role in 2024 with Cleveland when Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles in week 7. And he went on and started the next 7 games, threw for 2,121 yards, 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, also got sacked a whopping 24 times. The Browns, as we know now, finished 3-4, but they went 2-5 with Jameis Winston, and then he was sidelined for the final 3 weeks of the season. But this is the 2019 passing yards leader. This is a 2015 Pro Bowler. This is the dude who threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. He's got almost 25,000 career passing yards. He's got over 150 touchdowns. He does have over 100 interceptions as well, but 87 career starts as a backup, or even if he's a bridge. Let's say the Giants draft like Jackson Dart and they don't feel like he's ready to go right out of the gate. Jameis, it's going to be fun. That's what you're going to get. It's going to be fun. But there's also going to be a bunch of interceptions. His 4.1 interception rate last year was the second worst in the NFL, right behind Anthony Richardson with the Indianapolis Colts. But on the contrary, 13.8% of Winston's pass attempts last year resulted in explosive plays, which is 16 plus yards. That was 18th in the NFL among qualified passers. Just for comparison, Danny Dimes was 8.9% last in the NFL. So Malik Neighbors would love Jameis Winston. All the wide receivers would love Jameis, and TV watchers would enjoy it as well. But we'll talk about that quarterback in just a minute because I saw an article saying like, oh, Jameis got signed to the Giants. Is he QB1? And it's like, no, I hope he's not QB1. And outside of a bridge scenario, I hope he's not QB1 is what I'm trying to say. But before we get into the draft, I want to talk about the 2 new moves, the 2 new starters in the secondary. Javon Holland's one of my favorite young defensive players in the NFL, and you pair him up with Tyler Nubin. The Giants secondary is actually super fun now. Paulson Adebo, Tyler Nubin, Javon Holland, Deontay Banks, and Drew Phillips, super young, a lot of playmaking back there. But I really like Javon, all right? He's not really ending necessarily on a high note, but he did earn a 63 overall PFF grade in 2024, but 2021, 2023, the dude was an absolute stud. He was selected from Oregon by the Miami Dolphins in the second round of the 2021 NFL draft, and he's extremely versatile. He can impact all 3 levels of a defense. In 18 games last year, 6'1", 205-pound free safety recorded only 62 combined tackles and 1 sack. But if you go back back to 2022, probably his best season. He played and started in all 17 games, had 96 tackles, which was a career high, a sack and a half, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and 7 pass breakups. So he's not young, but he's certainly not old, coming off his rookie contract. Through 60 games in his 4-year NFL career, he has over 300 combined tackles, 5 sacks, 5 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, 9 tackles for a loss, and 10 quarterback hits. And also just keeping in mind, because he is coming off technically a down season, he's played for 3 different defensive coordinators in the last 3 seasons. So Miami just cannot figure out this defense for whatever reason. They have plenty of talent, but they can't figure out that defense. And I really like the Giants making a move for Javon Holland. And then my favorite is Paulson Adebo, because this guy, you watch his clips, you watch his highlights, you watch his film. The dude's a playmaker. And his best season came in 2023. He earned an 80.5 PFF coverage grade, folks. That is unbelievable. In 2023, he had 4 total interceptions and get this, 18 pass breakups. He leads the NFL in forced incompletions over the past 2 years. So this past season in 2024, he played in only 7 games because of a broken femur, but he was having such a good year. In just 7 games, he had 52 tackles, 10 passes defended, and 3 interceptions. So if Paulson Adebo can stay healthy and play over 16 games next season for the Giants, he's one of the best talented young quarterbacks in the NFL that nobody really knows, especially last year because of that injury. So I give that an A+ secondary for the Giants next season. Has me very excited. And then finally, as promised, the quarterback talk. So the way I see it is number 2 is not the Browns are taking a QB at pick number 2. All right. And I personally think they're going to take Shedeur Sanders. Now, I was reading a mock draft. I think this was on PFF, and it actually had the Giants selecting Cam Ward with the 1st overall pick. But I do just want to say really quickly, because here's how I think the draft's going to go. I think Cam Ward goes number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. Then I think Shedeur Sanders goes 2 to the Cleveland Browns. There's been a lot of mock drafts in the last couple of weeks of Jackson Dart being quarterback 3 and also the 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft. If the Giants view Jackson Dart as their quarterback of the future, they'll take him at pick number 3. And even if they do, I think Jackson Dart's a very good QB in the NFL, or will be in the NFL. Last year at Ole Miss, any SEC QB, in my opinion, who can throw for almost 30 touchdowns and 6 picks and thousands of yards and have a completion percent of almost 70% in the SEC, that's a dude I will 100,000% take and feel good and comfortable and confident about it. So I just want to hear from you guys down below. At pick number 3, what is your selection? Who is the starting quarterback for the New York Giants next season? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for more. Give me a grade, give me those comments, and we'll see you in a couple of days with another Giants video. Peace.